Good morning. This is Mae Renfroe here with you, and welcome to this video and to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. And I'm out on this morning. It's not early morning, but kind of first thing for me. I decided, um, not everyone was up yet, and I could just run out here in the peace and quiet. There's not a lot of noise outside yet, and do this video. So I'm going to be talking about something I just shared on Facebook. I just shared it there, and I was like, I'm going to do it this way on video too. That shared the story of Moses in Exodus chapter 17 with his arms raised in battle toward heaven. And I just think that's so significant for a few reasons. Just really neat. And so I'm going to read that piece there in Exodus, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, I got that here. I'm going to read that in Exodus 17, starting in verse 8 to, I think, verse 15. Okay, then came Amalek and fought with Israel and Rephidim. And Moses said unto Joshua, choose us out men and go out and fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in mine hand. So Joshua did as Moses had said to him and fought with Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And it came to pass when Moses held up his hand that Israel prevailed, and when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat thereon. And Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, and the one on one side and the one on the other side, and his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. Wow, I just love that. His hands were up, they were winning, but his hands down, the other side won, and so they had to hold his hands up because he was getting tired. His hands were heavy. They had to prop him up. He sat on this rock, and they held his hands up in battle and kept his hands up toward heaven. Okay, so we finished verse 12 there. Now verse 13, and Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. And the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in the book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I'll utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under the heaven. And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah Nissa. For he said, because the Lord hath sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. Wow. So that there was the story of that, how they won in battle with Moses and his arms raised toward heaven. And I think that is so significant in a few things. One thing, that he had his arms up, towards heaven, where he knew his help was coming from. He knew his help was coming from God and not them, not themselves. He knew they couldn't do that and win that battle if it wasn't for God. If it wasn't for God on their side, they knew they couldn't win it. Their help was coming from above. Yeah, and they knew that. And then another thing, I feel like he was giving God praise before he seen the victory. It was kind of like both, and saying, my help is coming from you, God, and I'm praising you right now. I'm praising you already because I know victory is coming. I know what you've done for us. I know you said, that we're to do this, and that you're going to provide, the provision, even though they maybe didn't feel they could on their own, but they just knew that he knew his power and his strength, and the battle belonged to the Lord and not to them. And so he was praising God before he seen the victory, before it came about. That's what I feel is just so significant about that. It was just amazing, and God seen them through, and they won the victory, and they knew it belonged to God. I'm also going to read a verse in Psalms 121 that talks about where our help comes from. Okay, I'm in Psalms 121. Starting with verse 1. I'll lift up my eyes unto the hills, from hence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper, and the Lord is thy shade upon the right hand. Thy sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth, and even forevermore. So I read the whole chapter. That was just 8 verses there. Wow, just beautiful. So he's saying that David is saying, I'll lift my eyes unto the hills, from hence cometh my help. He's looking up to God, and He's looking up and praying to God, or praising God from where his help comes from. He knows, that it comes from above. He knows that he's not alone, and he's saying that God never sleeps nor slumbers, and that he's watching over them and over the people. He knows that. Isn't that beautiful? Me and you, and we can stand on that too. We know, where our help is, where our help is in God, and we can be praising him before we see the victory, on our things and things that we're going through in life. We may not be, facing that battle with Moses there, but we're always kind of in a battle, right? I mean, because we're in Ephesians 6, where it talks about the armor of God, it says we do not fight against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and spiritual wickedness in high places. So read that in Ephesians 6. Read that verse. In the armor that he's given us, and I've talked about this in another video, there's a list of the armor that he's gave us, because we are in a battle, and that battle belongs to God, but he's given us an armor to help us to be equipped, the pieces of being shod with the gospel, and the sword of the spirit, and the word, and in prayer, and all these pieces is so important and so vital for walking every day, for the Lord, and in victory, and just in things that we're, because Satan is come to steal, kill, and destroy, but Jesus came to give us life, and life abundantly, John 10:10. And so just, that Satan is out to attack and to devour as many as he can in the time that he has here on earth. We know that. And as we're raising families for God, it's just constantly bombarded by the stuff of the world, just constantly bombarded by trying, things that would take us down in our faith, and take our kids out, in the spiritual aspect. So we got to constantly on guard, but know who is fighting your battles, know who is on you, but be in prayer and be in praise. And then for things you might be praying for, just, things that you want to come about, maybe things he's put on your mind and heart, and your kind of dreams or your vision of what you think you could see your family doing one day. Keep praying and praising him for that. And just because you can't see how it's going to happen doesn't mean it's not going to happen if it's his will. I've talked about that very recently, because there's things, on my heart and mind, and things that I've been going through, for myself. And so it's on my mind a lot. And I realize sometimes you can just almost feel defeated, but no, if he's behind it, that's what Satan wants to see you defeated, and throw away your dreams and those desires before they even get anywhere. Don't do that. Don't fall for that. Keep praying and praising and lifting those up to God. Well, I think that was it for this one. About covered what I was talking about on that. So just encourage you to just, really keep in the Word, and keep seeking God, and in everything. And for this, if there's certain issues and things in your life, certain things that you really are dealing with, you really are battling with, keep going to God and his Word. And I look forward to you coming back here and checking out some more videos. I always have a lot on my mind that I want to share, and I have more things like right now, but I was like, no, it's not just exactly in the same topic, so we will just wait on that, but come back here for more. And I have resources over my website and blog and stuff. So all right, take care. I'll see you later.